In a lot of cities around the world, the night has a hard edge. Shops pull down their shutters, kitchens close, the last train leaves, and a quiet settles in that tells you the day is over and you should be home. South Korea doesn't really work that way. Here, the night is just another part of the day, fully stocked, fully staffed, and wide open. Whatever you need at 2 in the morning, food, a game, a quiet desk, a hot bath, a ride home, there's a place ready for you. This around-the-clock rhythm isn't a novelty for tourists. It's simply how the country lives, shaped by long study and work hours, dense neighborhoods, and a culture genuinely comfortable with late nights. Let's explore why South Korea never really sleeps, and how an entire society built a nightlife of convenience that keeps humming long after other places have gone dark. It is a rhythm that surprises almost every visitor and quietly spoils them, because once you expect the night to stay open, a city that closes early feels oddly incomplete. It starts with the convenience stores, which sit on practically every block and almost never close. These aren't afterthoughts. They're miniature lifelines glowing on every corner, open all night, every night. At 3 in the morning, you can grab a hot meal, a cold drink, toiletries, phone chargers, medicine basics, or a quick snack to eat at the little counter by the window. They function as the always-open pantry of the whole country. Because they're everywhere and always lit, they anchor the entire late-night ecosystem, the dependable first stop no matter how strange the hour. That single glowing storefront on an empty street is often the quiet heartbeat of the neighborhood after dark, and it's the reason nobody here ever feels truly stranded late at night. Students, shift workers, and night owls all lean on that constant glow, and it is hard to overstate how much reassurance a 24-hour store on the corner provides. Then there's the food, because South Korea takes late-night eating seriously. Plenty of restaurants stay open into the early hours, and entire categories of dishes exist for the after-dark crowd, from sizzling barbecue to bubbling stews to the steaming bowls of haejanguk meant to revive you after a long night out. Hunger at midnight isn't a problem to solve, it's an invitation to go out. The familiar frustration of simply not being able to find a proper hot meal late at night just doesn't apply here. And that single fact keeps streets alive and people out well past the point where many other cities have completely emptied and fallen silent for the night. Whole friendships and work teams bond over these late meals, and the ritual of eating together at midnight is woven deep into how people here relax and connect. Singing carries the night forward at the Noribang, the karaoke rooms that stay open until dawn. These private song rooms, rented by the hour, are a cornerstone of how friends and co-workers unwind, and they're busiest exactly when everything else might be closing. You and your group get your own space, a screen, and an endless songbook, and the clock barely matters. It's social, affordable, and open absurdly late, which is why so many nights drift naturally into a noribang and back out again only when the sky is already starting to lighten. The quiet office worker belting out a ballad at 4 in the morning is one of the small, joyful images that define a Korean night. There is no pressure to wrap up by a set hour, so the night can stretch and breathe for as long as the group wants it to. For gamers, the PC bang never dims. These gaming cafes, packed with high-end machines and blazing fast connections, run around the clock, and they're a genuine social institution rather than a fringe hangout. Friends pile in together to play for hours, order food right to their seats, and lose track of time in the best possible way. At any hour, you'll find them lit up and busy, humming with energy. They give the night a home for a whole culture of play, a comfortable, affordable place to be among other people when the rest of the world assumes everyone should long since be asleep, and they anchor countless late nights for the young and the restless. For many young people, it doubles as an affordable hangout, a warm, lively room to share with friends when going home early simply is not the plan. Students keep their own nocturnal schedule, and the country built spaces for it. Study cafes and around-the-clock reading rooms give people quiet, comfortable desks to work through the night, whether they're preparing for exams or chasing a deadline. In a society that takes education and self-improvement seriously, there's always someone studying at 2 in the morning, and there's always somewhere proper for them to do it. These calm, well-lit rooms are the studious flip side of the city's nightlife, proof that the late hours here are for focus as much as for fun, and that ambition in South Korea rarely bothers to check what time it is before getting to work. The result is a country where wanting to work at 3 in the morning is treated not as strange, but as perfectly reasonable, and provided for accordingly. The Jimjilbang adds another layer entirely. These bathhouse and sauna complexes are open all night, and people genuinely sleep there, stretched out in warm common rooms after a long soak. For a modest fee, you get hot baths, heated floors, snacks, and a place to rest until morning. Travelers who miss the last train, friends extending a night out, anyone wanting cheap warmth and comfort, they all end up here. The Jimjilbang quietly absorbs the overflow of the late-night city, turning the simple need for a place to rest into a cozy, communal experience, and it means an unexpected late night never has to end in a cold, expensive scramble for somewhere to stay. It is comfort, hygiene, and shelter rolled into one cheap, welcoming package, which is exactly why it has become such a beloved fixture of the after-dark landscape. Getting home is part of the system too. Late and night transit options, including night buses on key routes and an endless supply of app-hailed taxis, mean the night never leaves you stranded. You can stay out knowing there's a reliable, affordable way back whenever you're ready. That single fact quietly changes everything, because when getting home is solved, people feel free to linger, to add one more round or one more song. The transport keeps flowing alongside the fun, so the late-night economy never slams into the early wall that a final midnight train would otherwise create, and the whole city can breathe and move at its own unhurried after-dark pace. Knowing a ride is always within reach takes the anxiety out of staying late, and that freedom shapes the entire social life of the city. Beyond the obvious spots, a surprising amount of ordinary life simply keeps running through the night. There are around-the-clock cafes for anyone who does their best thinking after dark, gyms that never lock their doors, self-service laundromats glowing quietly at midnight, and pharmacies and other essentials available far later than you'd expect. The assumption isn't that life pauses overnight, but the opposite, that someone, somewhere, will want this at an odd hour, so it may as well stay open and ready. That baseline of constant availability removes the low-grade stress of racing to beat a closing time, and it lets people shape their days around their own rhythms rather than the clock. Piece by piece, these quiet conveniences add up to a place where the practical needs of life are met at any hour, not just the ones a 9-to-5 world expects. Finally, there's the nightlife itself, the neon-soaked districts where the energy peaks rather than fades. Areas famous for their bars, clubs, street food, and crowds come alive late and stay that way, drawing people who want music, company, and motion. These districts are the beating heart of the late-night city, where the after-dark hours feel like the main event instead of an afterthought. Lit up and packed well past midnight, they complete the picture of a country where the night isn't a closing time, but a second shift of life in full swing, buzzing with the same energy and purpose that the daytime carries, only under a very different, brighter kind of glow. They are where the city's after-dark energy is most visible, a reminder that here the night is something to be enjoyed rather than simply endured or slept through. Put it all together, and you understand why South Korea never really sleeps. It isn't one wild district or a single late-night quirk. It's a whole society organized so that the night stays useful, comfortable, and open. The stores glow, the kitchens cook, the songs play, the desks fill, the baths stay warm, and the rides keep coming. Whatever the hour, the country has a place for you. That quiet, around-the-clock readiness is one of the most distinctive things about everyday life here. And once you've lived inside it, the idea of a city that simply switches off at midnight starts to feel strangely, unnecessarily lonely.